was the same challenge Jesus had. When Jesus was here, he could only be in one place at one time. That's why he created the church. That's why the church was made. That's why what he started was laid upon the shoulders of those 11. And he said, now you take this and you spread it abroad. But guess what? If other people that would have been in the church wouldn't have been willing, you know, Paul wasn't there that day. Was Paul there that day when Jesus spoke to them? But yet Paul was willing because he met Jesus and he became a servant and he began to follow him, that he went out and did what he did. Right? You shall receive power. And then you'll be a witness to the whole world. Verse 9 says, when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. While they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven, so shall come in like manner as ye have seen him go. He went up in a cloud and he's coming back on one. Verse 12. Then returned they unto Jerusalem. What were they doing? Thank you. They were being obedient. Jesus told them, don't leave Jerusalem. You stay in Jerusalem. You know what? People today want power from God and they can't figure out why they can't get it. Do you know that? There are people here, sitting in here right now, that want power from God and they can't figure out why they can't get it. You know why they can't get it? Huh? Say it louder. It's a long way up here. Because you got to be obedient. You will not receive what you need from God if you do not learn to be obedient throughout your entire life. Everything about you has got to be subject to Him. Everything. That's why people live in defeat today. People walk around, they're defeated all the time because they won't trust God. Y'all going to make me preach in a minute. It said they returned into Jerusalem from a mount called Olivet, which is from Jerusalem a Sabbath day's journey. And when they were come in, they went into an upper room where abode both Peter, James, John, Andrew, Philip, Thomas, Bartholomew, Matthew, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon Zealots, and Judas the brother of James. What does abode mean? Stay, abide, wait. What did Jesus tell them to do? They're being what? How about nobody in the front 2 rows can talk? What are they being? Come on, say it. Obedient. You know what? People don't want to say obedient because they don't want to be obedient. I got you on that one, didn't I? Because if we admit that we got to be obedient, that means that we got to start living it. You know, I wonder what people think. You know, Jesus is coming back soon. And you know, people think it's okay just to live however they want to live. And it's sad, you know it. Because there's going to be a whole lot of truth revealed in the moment, the twinkling of an eye. You know what? It'd be something if Jesus came back when church service was going on. Because ain't everybody going up. And the sad thing is, those that would remain, they wouldn't know what to do. Because you have to learn to be obedient through time. Obedience is a process. It's something that you have to go through. It's something that you have to learn. It's a process. Look, you have to be obedient one time after another before you are looked at as an obedient servant to God. Now, what a lot of people do is they're obedient through one thing and they don't listen to 10 other ones. And then they decide they'll be obedient again. So they'll be obedient 1 or 2 times and they're not obedient again. And you get no victory. There's no victory in that. How many of you want to live a victorious life? I'm about convinced people like to be defeated. You know why? Because they've lived with it so long. They've lived in a life of defeat for so long, they don't care. People get down and they're fine with it. I don't want to be down. You know what? I'm going to let you in on a secret. Jesus ain't down. He's up, live, well, and kicking. And that's what we're supposed to be. But you know what? You can't be like Jesus if you want to allow Him to work in you and you live a life of obedience and you learn to have victory in your life. It said these all continued with one accord in prayer and supplication with the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and with His brethren. You know what? They didn't get tired of one another. Didn't get tired of one another. They found strength being together, praying together, being in one place where Jesus called them to be together. You know what? There's strength in numbers. It's a big difference when you stand by yourself and when you got 100 people on your side. Chapter 2, verse 1 says, when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. That's where they were in chapter 1. Nothing has changed. They still together. They still praying. And guess what? The ones that were there wanted to be there. They weren't there to be seen. They weren't there to receive nothing else. But they were there because they wanted to. You know what the problem is with churches today? People go to be seen. They don't go to be there to be obedient to God. They go to be seen. There are people that they go to church today absolutely uninterested in anything that's ever said, anything that's ever sang, anything that's ever preached. They don't care. Well, then why do they come? That's the way it is today. That's why you don't find unison in the body anymore. Because you got a group full of people, they don't care. They don't care if God shows up or He doesn't. They just get their Bible and they put a tick mark. I went to church today. Good for me. We ought to be going to church and saying, what was I able to do for God today? How was I able to be obedient to Him today? How was I able to share something He laid on my heart with somebody else? That's where the world's gotten to today. That's where the church has gotten to. They've gotten complacent. They've gotten cold. They were all there that day because they had a desire for God to do something in their life. They had a desire to receive what they needed from God in order to make it. I'm talking about getting beyond lack. All needs supplied.